Hello, Jerry here with Season 4, Episode 39 of Ask Jerry Tachoir. And it has been some time since my last video, and for that I apologize. However, it's been a very busy touring season, and we just weren't unavailable. We were out on the road doing our thing with both the band and with the duo, and things got really busy. So anyway, I'm back to try to do another one real quickly here. This question comes from Maurice in Switzerland. Hello, Jerry. Hope you are well. I've attended one of your clinic performances and learned a lot about the harmonic analysis and the modes. I also have your method book, which has helped me in understanding chord voicings, dampening, and the modes. My soloing sounds so square compared to yours, and your tone is the best I've ever heard. What is your secret, and what am I doing wrong? Hope to hear from you soon. Best, Maurice. Okay, well, Maurice, you're not doing anything wrong. It just takes a while. Improvisation is a skill that you develop over time by listening a lot, listening to other players, listening to recordings, listening to how you play and how your melodies develop, and just being sensitive to what you're trying to do harmonically and melodically. And it just takes a while, and you're not doing anything wrong. Regarding the modes, when you learn the modes give you the good notes to play on a chord. In other words, if you have a D minor 7 going to a G7 and going to a C in the key of C, that's a 2-5-1 in the key of C. That would be like Dorian, Mixolydian, G Mixolydian to C Ionian. With that being said, if you play just the notes of the mode, it's going to sound fine. It's going to sound right. There's not going to be anything wrong. You want to avoid the obvious avoid notes that are associated with the modes harmonically. Melodically, you can pass through, but harmonically, you want to avoid those. And again, these are things that are in my method book. But your shapes of your melodies is going to make you not as square. How you hear melodies and how you take dissonances and resolve them and things like that. Now, after you know your modes, and after you can play what they call in other words, you're playing all the right notes, you're improvising, you're not making any mistakes, all the notes that you're playing are of the mode of that moment, and it's very clean. Then you need to start developing what are called the out notes. The out notes are the notes that are not actually in the mode. However, when used properly, can create a lot of power and interest. When used improperly, it can sound dissonant and very bad. So, the out notes, say in the K, like in the Dorian, D Dorian. D Dorian is, right? That's D Dorian. So if you just played those notes, it would sound fine. So I want to get to a G. How do I get to a G? Well, if I just hit the G, that's easy. Well, that's not real creative. But there are melodic devices that allow you to get to that G in an interesting way. And you learn these in theory class in music schools. You hear of chromatic approaches, lower neighbor note, appoggiaturas, scape tones. These are all those melodic devices that get you to that target note in an interesting way. Here's an example. Half-step approach. Whole step approach. Whole step below and a whole step above. Chromatic. Just a nice chromatic line into my target note. Skipping over it, coming back to it. Okay, and these are called, melodic devices, appoggiaturas, scape tones, chromatic approaches that I mentioned earlier. And those allow you to use then out of scale notes in a way that's controlled and then allows you to resolve into a modal note that makes sense. And that's how you get away from being, as you say, square. So you want to try to find out how to be able to do that. Now, regarding tone. Tone is something that I have worked on all my life, and I want to get a sound that's pleasant and soothing, especially when I record. And two things you have to deal with. One, obviously, is your choice of instruments. You have to find an instrument that just sounds great to you, that's something that you want to play, and the notes just sound perfect. So, in my case, I'm playing a BERGERAULT instrument. I found this instrument to be the best I've ever played. I love the fact that I have the extended range, and again, this is my instrument of choice. I love the way it sounds. Then, your second thing is your choice of mallets. Now, I've spent a year in developing a prototype, this was several years ago, for my mallets. It went back and forth from Innovative Percussion for like a year until we finally got the one that I was like, this is it. Called them up, they put it into their computer, and they can make these mallets consistently every time. And so your choice of mallets gives you the tone that you're looking for. And between that and your instrument, that's something you have to work on, and you have to find the combination of both mallet and instrument and to get a nice tone. And again, I have worked like crazy to make sure that my tone is really nice. I hate the clanky vibe sound where it's real brittle and hard and metallic, and you hear a lot of players, they'll play with hard mallets, and it just has that ticky metal sound, and I just want something to be soothing. And these are the mallets that give it to me. That's about all I really have to offer you in terms of both of you're concerned about being square on your improvisations and also tone. These are two key factors that you need to deal with, and be patient. Your improvisations are going to develop over time. You're going to get more sensitive to your ability to interpret and to analyze and to play, and you'll find the right notes that are going to give you the dissonance resolution that you're looking for to give you the power. So keep working at it, Maurice. You'll be fine. Thanks, man. I hope you enjoy it. And be prepared. We're probably going to do another one of these videos fairly soon. If you want to ask me a question, I forgot to mention this, simply go to my website, tachoir.com, www.tachoir.com. In the upper right-hand corner is a Contacts tab. Click on that, and you can fill out the information and ask me a question. And please do subscribe to this channel. It helps a lot for us to get recognition and also for us to be able to notify you when a new video comes out. So thanks again. We'll talk to you real soon. Bye-bye.